Welcome to another Tech Help video brought to you by AccessLearningZone.com. I'm your instructor, Richard Rost. Today we're going to talk about generating the sum of the last orders of each of your customers. Why? Well, I'll explain why in just a second. Today's question comes from Grant in Olathe, Kansas, one of my Platinum members. Grant says, most of my regular customers make a single purchase each month, usually for the same items. How can I generate a total that includes only each customer's most recent order? I'd like to use this information to estimate my sales for the upcoming month. I can't simply use last month's overall sales data because it includes many walk-in customers, but my regulars purchased almost consistently every month. I get what you're saying there because I do kind of the same thing. I've got lots of different memberships. And I like to say, okay, of the members, because I got each customer tagged as a member, what were my sales last month for just the members, right? Give me each of their last orders. And so you can use that to forecast what next month's going to be, but it ignores all the random one-offs. And, you never know when some guy's going to randomly come in and spend $1,000 or, something like that. So I get what you're trying to do. Let's see how we can do it. First up, we got some prerequisites. This will be an expert level video. What does that mean? Well, it's beyond the basics, but it's not quite programming. We don't have to use any VBA to do this, although for the extended cut and the members later on, I'll show you a method that you can use some VBA to do this, in my opinion, which is actually easier. But so what do we need? Well, this involves order entry and using orders, so go watch my invoicing video. If you have not yet watched this, I show you how to build an order entry system and an invoice. We're also going to use some aggregate queries, so go watch this video. Sum queries, total queries, they got lots of different names. They're technically called aggregate queries. And go watch my video on DSum. You don't need to watch this one, but I'm going to show you how you can put the total right on the main menu with a single DSum. Once you build the query, you can then use DSum to display that value. All right, we're going to build this query back here that's got each customer, right, each of their max order IDs, and then the order totals. And then on the main menu, we'll just use DSum to add all that up, okay? These are all free videos. They're on my website. They're on my YouTube channel. Go watch those and then come on back. Okay, here I am in the Tech Help free template. This is a free database you can download off my website if you want to. And we got customers, and each customer can have orders, and each order has order details, and those add up to an order total. Now what you want is the most recent order for each customer, and we're going to add all those up. Now, just to go over some of the table structure, just for those of you who maybe aren't super familiar with the order entry system that I built, you got the customer table, you got the order table, right? Here's the order information. Notice there's no total in here, though, because we get the total from the line items, right? Quantity and price of each item. Now, even in this table, there's no total. Why? Because we don't put totals in our tables. That's what queries are for, right? So the order detail T has a order detail Q associated with it, and there's the extended price. That's simply the quantity times the unit price. That gives you the extended price in a calculated field in our query. And for each order, you can see there's the items for order one, right? In fact, let me sort this way. There we go, right? There's all the items for order one. These will all add up to the order total for that order, which is then, save changes, yes, which is in the order summary queue, and there it is right there. Okay, there's the order total. Now, I'm going to change a few of these around because I think I'm the only one, customer one, that has two orders. So let's give a couple of different customers a couple of different orders. I'm going to go into the order table and play some games here. So you got 1, 2, 1. Let's make this for me. Let's make this for customer 2. We got 14, 17, 18. Let's make another one for me. And then let's do 2 more for customer 2 down here. And notice that they're both on the same date. That's going to be important because that's going to be an issue later on. We'll take that into consideration. Okay? So if I sort these by customer ID now, you'll see that I've got 4 orders, and customer 2 has 4 orders, 2 of which are on the same date. Okay, so what I want is the most recent one of these. Okay, and we're going to add those up. And then, of course, everybody else's too. Now, first thing I'm going to say is, if you want to put any kind of filtering in this, like for example, you mentioned it's just your regular customers. Well, I assume you got some kind of field in your customer table. I've got an is active field. You can use that or make your own field called is a regular order or customer. Same thing with orders. You might want to filter them based on only ones that are paid. Okay, just to keep things simple, I'm just going to include all customers and all orders, but you can add criteria if you want to. That's easy to do. All right, so the first thing I want is a list of all the customers and their max order date. What's the most recent order that each customer has placed? So we'll go to Create, Query Design. I'll bring in my customers and my orders. You can use the tables for this because we don't need any totals yet. Okay, I'm going to bring in the customer T and their order date. And now I'm going to change this to an aggregate query and set this guy to the max. Don't use last. I got a whole video on why you don't use first and last. Stay away from those. All right, I'll put a link to that one down below. Use max and min for dates. Min is the oldest, max is the most recent. Okay, now when you run this guy, excuse me, when you run this guy, now you'll see the max of order date for each customer. All right, customer 1, my max order date's the 16th. All right, March of last year, whatever. All right, his, and so on. All right, now we're going to save this guy as customer max order date Q. Now, one of the things that I see people do, especially beginners, is you try to do too much with one query. Don't try to add more to this. This is exactly what we need at this point. Just a list of each customer and their max order date. Okay? Now, close that query. We're good with it. Don't try to shoehorn too much stuff into one query. All right, so now we got a list of those orders, right? Those order dates. Now I want the details from that. So let's make another query, and now we need to bring in the order ID and the order total from each of the orders that match that order date. All right, you with me? All right, so another query. Create, Query Design. We're going to bring in that query we just made, and now we're going to bring in the order summary queue because we want the order total, and that's on that one. Okay, now what do I want to see down here? Well, let's bring in the customer ID. Let's bring in the order ID. We want the order date, and we want the order total. Now, how do we join this? This is where it gets tricky. Obviously, we want to join it by customer, and I want the specific order that matches this max of order date. You following me? I only want one order. So I want max of order date is going to line up with this order date. Yeah, you got two joins on one query there. See that? That's pretty freaky, huh? All right. Now, if I run this, look at that. There's each customer. Let me sort it by customer. Let's go back here, sort it by customer. And you'll see the problem when we do this. Watch. All right, sort it by customer. Customer 1 matched up on that order date. It turns out to be that order ID, and there's the total. Here's where the problem creeps in. Customer 2 has 2 orders on the same date, so that's not good. So we need to take a step back. I like to show it this way because this is the way my brain worked it out when I first sat down to do this, and I want to show you how I got to this point. So we got to take a step back, and before we do this, we're going to make another query that's going to say, hey, of this list, I only want the max of the order ID as well. Then I can match it up with the order totals. Okay, so let's take a step back. So let's take order date and order total out of here. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to say with the customer ID and the order ID, I want the largest order ID in this group. So if I run this here, you can see, there we go. So I want to also make this an aggregate query and give me the largest of those. So that's going to be, make this an aggregate query, and then this will be max as well. And now if I run it, that fixed the problem, see? So I don't try to do too much at one query, folks. Okay, now I got a list of each customer and the single order that is the most recent one. If you have orders where you are using now instead of date for the order date, like you do it to the second, you probably won't run into this problem. I use now for my database because I want to know exactly what time of day stuff comes in. Okay? All right, so let's save this one now. This is going to be, let's do customer max order date one order queue. Yeah, they get long. I like to make these descriptive so I can tell what they are later on. Okay, now we can use the results from this to make another query where we can now bring in those details that we need. All right, so bring in that guy. This now has a list of each customer and their max order ID for the last order date. Could you have just done the max order ID in the first place? Yeah, kind of, maybe. See, the problem with auto numbers is that you can't always assume that auto numbers are going to be in the right order chronologically. All right, you might add an order, like let's say it's order ID number 6, and then later on you change its date. Maybe it was a quotation and they sat on it for a month and they changed it. So the order IDs aren't necessarily in the same chronological order. That's why we had to look at date first, then give me the largest ID. And I'm just taking the largest ID because that's the only other way you can really figure out what the most recent order is. It might not be, but there's no other way to tell unless you store your dates to the second. Okay, so now we got this. Now we can also bring in our order summary queue. Okay, linked by customer. And we have actually we have the order ID. We don't have to link these by customer. We just have to link them by the max of order ID to order ID. And if we show the customer the order ID, the order date, and the order total, that should give us what we want. Yep, there it is. See, there's each customer, their specific order ID, the order date, and the order total. Now I've got the most recent order total for each customer's most recent order. Okay? And now I can save this. This will be my final one. This will be the customer, let's call it last order amount queue. Okay, and now what we have to do is add these up to get that total that you're looking for, right? So remember, it's customer last order amount queue and order total. So now we'll use a DSum. We'll put it right here in this field, right? Design view. We'll call this last order total. And you know what it means, right? Open up the properties for this guy. Name will be last order total. The control source, I'll zoom in so you can see it, Shift F2. This is going to be equals DSum order total from the customer last order amount queue. Do we need any criteria? Nope, just add everything up in that query. Hit OK. We'll change this to currency. Save it. Close it. Close it. Open it. And there you go. There's your last order total. Each of your customers' last order, add them all up. That's a lot of steps. I know, it's a lot of steps. It can be a little tricky sometimes working with these queries because, like I said, don't try to do too much at one query, and just get what you want, get your results, and then okay, we're good with that one. Now, what's the next step? And sometimes it takes 2 or 3 queries to do it. Can you do it without queries? Yes, you can. In fact, my brain initially went to a record set loop because you could loop through all of the customers, and then inside that loop, say, okay, for this customer, what's their max order date? What's that order total? Add it to a total variable, and then loop through all the customers that way. And you hopefully should get the same result. So we'll do this in the extended cut for the members. Silver members and up get access to all my extended cut videos. Gold members can download these databases that I record in the Tech Help videos, and you get all kinds of free classes and all kinds of other stuff. Check it out. Click the join button down below. And also, while I've got your attention, if you like this kind of stuff, this queries and all this joins and DSums and all that kind of stuff, check out my Access Expert lessons. Gold members get a free expert lesson every month after you finish the beginner classes. So there's lots of benefits to becoming a member. But I got 32 levels of expert lessons that don't involve any programming that cover all the really cool stuff with Microsoft Access, including building a custom order entry system right over here. All right, we spent a lot of lessons on that one. But that's going to do it for today, folks. There's your Tech Help video. I hope you learned something. Live long and prosper, my friends. I'll see you next time. And members, I'll see you in the extended cut. A special thank you and shout out to our diamond sponsors. First, we have Juan Soto with Access Experts Software Solutions, manufacturing experts specializing in Access and SQL Server. Juan is a 13-time Microsoft Access MVP. You can check them out at accessexperts.com. Another shout out to Sammy Shama from Shama Consultancy. Sammy is a certified Microsoft Office specialist, and he not only offers Access application development, but he also provides one-on-one tutoring services. So if you need someone to hold your hand and help you with your Access project, Sammy is your guy. Check him out at shamaconsultancy.com. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up and post any comments you may have below. I do try to read and answer all of them as soon as I can. Make sure you subscribe to my channel, which is completely free. Click the bell icon and select all to receive notifications when new videos are posted. Want to learn more? Click the Show More link below the video to find additional resources and links. YouTube does a pretty good job of hiding it. It's right down there. See this part of the description here, right? The name, the video's up here. There's a little Show More down there, right down the bottom. It's kind of hard to find. But once you click on that, you'll see a list of other videos, additional information related to the current topic, free lessons, and lots more. And YouTube no longer sends out email notifications when new videos are posted like they used to do. But if you'd like to get an email every time I post a new video, click on the link to join my mailing list. And you can pick how frequently to get emails from me, either as they happen, daily, weekly, or monthly. Now, if you'd like to become a paid member of my channel and receive all kinds of awesome perks, click on the Join button. You'll see a list of all the different membership levels that are available, each with its own special perks, including my extended cut videos, access to my code vault, lots of VBA source code in there, template downloads, and lots more. I'll talk more about these perks at the end of the video. Even if you don't want to commit to becoming a paid member and you'd like to help support my work, please feel free to click on the tip jar link. Your patronage is greatly appreciated and will help keep these free videos coming. I got some puppies to feed. But don't worry, no matter what, these free tech help videos are going to keep coming. As long as you keep watching them, I'll keep making more, and they'll always be free. Now, if you really want to learn Access and you haven't tried my free Access Level 1 course, check it out now. It covers all the basics of Microsoft Access, including building forms, queries, reports, and more. It's over 4 hours long. You can find it on my website or on my YouTube channel. I'll put a link down below you can click on. And did I mention it's completely free? The whole thing, free, 4 hours. Go watch it. And okay, a lot of you have told me that you don't have time to sit through a 4-hour course. So I do now have a quicker Microsoft Access for Beginners video that covers all the basics faster in about 30 minutes. And no, I didn't just put the video on fast forward. But I'll put a link to this down below as well. Now, if you like level 1, level 2 is just $1. That's it, $1. And that's another whole 90-minute course. Level 2 is also free for paid members of any level, including supporters. So if you're a member, go watch level 2. It's free. Okay, want to get your question answered in a video just like this one? Visit my tech help page and send me your question there. Members get priority, of course. While I do try to read and respond to all of the comments posted below in the comments section, I only have time to go through them briefly a couple of times a month, and sometimes I get thousands of them. So send me your question here on the tech help page, and you'll have a better chance of getting it answered. And while you're on my website, be sure to stop by my Access forum. We've got lots of lively conversations about Microsoft Access and other topics. I have a fantastic group of moderators who help me answer questions. Shout out to Alex, Kevin, Scott, Adam, John, Dan, Juan, and everybody else who helps out on the site. I appreciate everything you do. I couldn't do it without you. Be sure to follow my blog, find me on Twitter, and of course on YouTube. Yeah, I'm on Facebook too, but I don't like Facebook. Don't get me started. Now, let's talk more about those member perks if you do decide to join as a paid member. There are different levels: Silver, Gold, Platinum, and Diamond. Silver members and up get access to all of my extended cut tech help videos, one free beginner class every month, and some other perks. Gold members get all the previous perks, plus access to download the sample databases that I build in my tech help videos, plus access to my code vault where I keep tons of different functions that I use, the code that I build in most of the videos. You'll also get higher priority if you do submit any tech help questions. Now, answers are never guaranteed, but you do go higher in the list for me to read them. And if I like your question, you got a good chance of it being answered. You'll also get one free expert level class each month after you've finished the beginner series. Platinum members get all the previous perks plus even higher priority for tech help questions. You get access to all of my full beginner level courses for every subject. And I cover lots of different subjects like Word, Excel, VBA, ASP, lots of different stuff, not just Access. These are the full-length courses found on my website. You get all the beginner ones. In addition, once you finish the expert classes, you get one free developer class per month. So lots of training. And finally, you can also become a Diamond sponsor. You'll have your name or your company name listed on a sponsors page that will be shown on each video as long as you're a sponsor. You'll get a shout out in the video and a link to your website or product in the text below the video and on my website. So that's it. Once again, my name is Richard Rost. Thank you for watching this video brought to you by accesslearningzone.com. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned something today. Live long and prosper, my friends. I'll see you again soon.